Do you mind counting 10 for us again?
Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
We're
6,
good.
7, 8, 9, 10. It might not be stuffed in my pocket. Maybe I could just leave it out or something.
It works fine. Now we figured it out.
You figured it out?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so
Welcome to Life Esteem, a program committed to delivering information to you and your community.
Hello and welcome again to Life Esteem. Always glad to have you as a viewer to this program. And today we have with us Chad Frey, who is the president and CEO of
The Neighboring Academy.
the Neighboring Academy, and doing great work, by the way, with the Neighboring
Yes,
Academy.
Thanks.
definitely.
Indeed. And you guys are housed in Stillton with the Stillton School District, is that right?
We are. Currently, we're in the Stillton High School District at the high school.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And I've had the opportunity to, go in and work with some of the young people. They're great students, doing good stuff, so it's a great program. But you have a specific target you want to talk about today.
Yeah.
In terms of why you're working with these young people and how.
Yeah.
Tell us all about that.
Yeah, so we've been at Stillton now for 3 years. And every year when we first started, we worked with about 10 students. They were rising ninth graders in a summer program. Now those ninth graders are juniors. So they're growing up and they're having lots of different experiences. And every year we've been bringing on another cohort of about 10 students. So we have about 30 students in the program. And this summer is exciting because it'll be the first time we have all 4 cohorts going.
Oh, okay.
Ninth graders, rising 10th graders, 11th graders, and seniors.
Let me ask you a question, because every day, throughout the week, I see students coming in by way of our Life Esteem van, by the way.
That's right.
They're coming in to the hospital. Are they part of
Yes.
the Neighboring Academy program as well?
They sure are.
I thought so.
They
Okay.
sure are. So what's been happening is those 11th graders now, a couple years ago, they were just coming out of 8th grade, but 11th graders now, we have a partnership with UPMC.
Okay.
And so because the school district is really trying to encourage workforce development, every day, Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock, they catch the Life Esteem van,
That's right.
and they go to UPMC and they volunteer through the afternoon. And that's really important, not just for UPMC and for the patients there, but for our students, they're actually getting a pretty in-depth understanding of how healthcare works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there are lots of jobs. I don't know if you know this, but UPMC is one of the largest private employers in the state of Pennsylvania, if not the largest.
Right.
So there is a big, they're what I call an anchor institution. And part of that is they're working to try to help students get a pathway into living wage jobs, opportunities for success in healthcare, and our students are getting access to that where they wouldn't before. So the bigger picture, to kind of get at the whole purpose of this Neighboring Academy and what it is, we are trying to position students on a pathway to home ownership to break cycles of poverty. What's really been happening is, poverty affects us in lots of different ways. But to break that cycle, you need a couple things. It can't just be one thing.
That's right.
But we know research, Habitat for Humanity, by the way, is a leader in this.
Yes, indeed.
In terms of doing research. But home ownership is still one of the best ways to generate wealth. So if we're going to try to break cycles of poverty, we really need to help students understand capital.
Yes.
How it works, how the whole process works, how we value different things in different terms of capital, and there's lots of different forms. A house is just one form of material capital, but there's living capital.
Yeah.
We took them to the farm show, and they saw sheep to shawl, you know that, where you you shear a sheep, and as you're shearing the sheep, you're like weaving, with the yarn, a shawl, and then you sell it. Well, that's an example of living capital with the sheep, turned into material capital with the wool in the shawl, sold for financial capital. And as the kids start to learn different forms of capital and how we value different things at different seasons in our lives, if they can see value where other people don't, and they understand how to transform capital from one form to another, they're going to be successful. But unfortunately, a lot of curriculum doesn't teach that. So that's what we're trying to do, is the healthy dose of financial literacy, healthy dose of helping people understand civic engagement. Because the Neighboring Academy, we're hoping that folks will learn how to become responsible neighbors and join a neighborhood by the time they're 25. So our goal is by the time you're 25, we hope to be able to equip you to own a home.
Fantastic. Yeah.
That's the nutshell.
I know before we begin to tape, we talked about 25 by 25.
Yeah.
Break that concept down for us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we're taking some cues from the Annie Casey Foundation. They are kind of leading in this area, Thriving by 25, holistically looking at children's development.
Okay.
And one of the things we want to do is by the time our students are 25, we want them to be able to have saved $25,000 for a down payment on a home. We know that folks could potentially get financing, but they might not have the money for the down payment or the closing costs or other kinds of things, home inspections or even insurance. So in order to set students up for success, they have to have a very good paying job.
Absolutely.
They have to be equipped. They have to have saved the money. And they need help with financial institutions to actually finance at a reasonable rate. Now I'm going to put a challenge out there for any financial institutions listening. For students who are coming out and wanting to live in their neighborhoods and contribute in low income, poor neighborhoods, we need to reduce those interest rates. We really do. And what we're hoping to do is to be able to take our students who are educated, have taken first-time homeowner classes, have really invested and saved, and are wanting to contribute to their neighborhood. We need to be able to get them financed.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really critical.
And they have to understand, like when I was young, if someone handed me a credit card, said, you can get this credit card, this and that, or you get this loan or whatever, you didn't think about interest rates, how much you're going to pay. So, 24%, I don't mind, Next thing you know.
No, you're right. And we have to really help our students understand, because the nature of how finances are working now is different. Our students may not know how to write a check. They do now. They know how to write a check now because Belco has been helping them understand how to do that. They all get checking accounts and savings accounts when they're 14, which is really critical to actually understand. That's part of joining the Neighboring Academy, is you get set up with your financial institutions. But I think the other part is learning, okay, what a bank does and how that's different, say, from Venmo or Cash App or this electronic, Apple Pay. That's still money, but it doesn't feel the same way. If you're gaming and you're trying to, those games are set up to continue to, put your credit card in and keep leveling up and buy the next thing. Next thing you know, you've spent a lot of money. That Christmas money might be gone by now. But kids need to understand how that works, because in the end, credit matters.
Another thing that killed me was, okay, if I pay $100 on this particular bill, I'm expecting that's going to decrease by $100. Well, no. Actually, there's so much that goes towards that interest rate, right? And so you're in that cycle of just constantly, and I'm just going to pay the minimum. Yeah, well, 25 years from now, you'll still be paying the minimum. Stuff like that. So you're helping students understand that concept.
Yeah, and that's why these financial institutions are so critical, because we need them to be paying against the principal of their home as soon as possible. So that they can build equity in their home. Because if they can't build equity in a home that will last, then they continue to be underwater. Lots of people across the United States feel that. Because they just can't build the equity. We know that homes tend to appreciate, and the possibility to generate wealth is there. But if you're stuck under these rates, it's tough.
Well, let me ask you this, Chad. Based on the young people, you say about 30 right now in your cohort?
30 right now.
Okay, so you have those that are juniors, I'll say, right now. And how are they receiving all of this? Are they anxious? They are really committed and really wanting to move forward? Are you getting those type of young people engaged?
Well, our students are pretty remarkable in terms
right.
of these juniors at the moment,
Right.
because now they're at UPMC. There are 6 students that are at UPMC,
All right.
and then there are 3 students just today actually at HAC, Harrisburg Area
Yes.
Community College. They're getting dual enrollment. That's another really important part that we haven't really talked about,
Right.
but the opportunity for students to start to earn college credits while they're still in high school. HAC has helped them with the HAC Foundation get college credits early on. And the more that they can actually accrue those college credits while they're still in high school, the less they have to pay in the
Right,
future.
definitely.
So that's real money. That's intellectual capital that they need to be able to leverage. But our students, because they're getting exposed to the healthcare system and to other kind of jobs, now they kind of want to get into that.
All right.
You know, so like, I'll just give you an example. Last summer, through UPMC, the students did a rotation at the Harrisburg Hospital. They went through about 8 different departments. They were wearing all the PPE, you know, they were in like, you know, all these different departments watching how it works. And it's really cool and it's really, you know, interesting. And so that's exciting because that's like a quick shadowing experience. But it's not a really authentic understanding of how difficult these jobs are, how much it takes for doctors and nurses day in, day out for the amount of time. Now what's happening, so they saw that in the summer, they got super excited, and like, this is really cool. But now they're volunteering at the hospital all since, you know, September up until now. It's longer term, and they're kind of getting into the grunt work.
Yeah.
They're starting to really understand, okay, not everything is really great, you know, like, it's not always like really exciting stuff. So it's a much more holistic view, but the number of students that are interested in healthcare, it's pretty remarkable.
That's good.
And they need it too. They need that.
All of us are
Yeah.
gonna, all of us touch the healthcare system at some point,
Definitely.
right?
But as far as needing individuals to go into the healthcare system, I understand
yeah.
that is
That's
so
right.
much needed.
It's what we try to do is mutually beneficial and reciprocal partnerships
Yes.
with folks like UPMC and other anchor institutions. We're trying to build those partnerships with technology, manufacturing, construction. The hope is really that students will have multiple pathways
Right.
through partners that really are trying, that need talent, and that we can flatten that learning curve. You know, if they're touching those partnerships while they're in high school, the learning curve to get a job there is flattened.
So do you have employers, business owners and all that, you know, who are aware of the program and also assisting, you know, these young people in whatever way they can?
Yeah, we sure do.
Okay.
So I mentioned Belco, you know, as a financial institution helping
Right.
all of our students get some financial literacy and get accounts set up. Obviously, UPMC. There are a number of nonprofits, social service groups that are coming alongside our students and teaching them neighboring, how to get involved with their local neighborhood and serve their neighbors. Our students do door hangers, you know, so they go door to door and like, hey, you need help with shoveling snow or whatever it is, raking leaves. Those kinds of projects, specifically for the elderly, very, very important. And I don't know about you, but when you see a teenager on your porch, you know, hanging a little door knocker up, and it's like, wait a second, you could be scared, but like these students are your neighbors. They're trying to help, right? They're trying to introduce themselves and make themselves available to their neighborhood. So we're also looking to partner with the borough, you know, municipal government, because they're supposed to be civil servants
That's right.
and civic leaders, and they get calls all the time. And so we want to help our students better understand those services that make their neighborhoods work. The government, the local government, the fire department.
That's right.
You know, you think about the fire departments all over the country. If you didn't have volunteers running those fire departments, taxpayers couldn't pay for all that.
No, they couldn't.
You take volunteers out of the heart of a neighborhood, and we don't have an economy. So at the end of the day, we really have to teach students how to be neighbors.
And that's so important because we're a more diverse community these days.
That's exactly right.
People coming in and that big question about immigration and this and that, illegals, all this kind of stuff. Guess what? They're also neighbors, right?
That's exactly right.
Whether it be right now or later or whatever, they're neighbors.
Yeah.
So the young folks then are mostly coming from an urban environment that,
Yeah.
Stilton program kind
Yeah.
of thing. What are some of the unique things that you've discovered in working with this particular, or that your staff is saying? Because I know
Yeah.
you're out there all the time. What are they saying that is making this program work? How are the students responding to it? And it's working because bingo, what?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things is belonging. Our students are consistently saying they're a part of something.
There you go.
And so public education, it's very difficult because teachers are working with large class sizes. As you heard me talk a little bit about, we're only taking 10 students. This is not a massive program at the moment. We're very intentional about that because we want to know every student name. We want to know the names of every student.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. And so you lower that student-teacher ratio and you start to have a sense of like, okay, now I'm seen and I'm known and I'm loved. And I'm part of a community that actually is working on something that's bigger than I am. And that's a developmental process. You don't always know that when you're 14.
That's right.
You have to watch and catch it. But as you start to grow up, our juniors are modeling that now. And when they become seniors, they are already leaders to their peers.
Well, how did you identify that core group? I mean, young people. Did the school district recommend them?
Great question.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually, our very first year, I think the school district didn't quite know what we were about, and they thought we were an alternative education program.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so our students were very challenged in the current educational system. That's not the kind of, we're not an alternative education program, but what we discovered is that when you reduce those class sizes and when you build that trust and those relationships, that changes everything.
It does.
It changes attendance, it changes behavior, it changes course completion. Those are three really important metrics, the ABCs.
ABCs, okay.
The ABCs.
Yeah.
And there are some low-hanging fruit that we can do, and it's been research-based to actually help our students achieve, but that's premium education. You need more teachers to lower that class size.
Yeah.
Or you need to have more partnerships.
Volunteers, is that right?
That's exactly. You need to build those partnerships.
Okay.
And that's creative. That's starting to get a little innovative because we can't operate in these silos.
Okay.
So I would say that one of the things that's really unique about what we're trying to do with our students and with our program is we're trying to bring together education, industry, and housing.
Okay, yeah.
Like a three-legged stool. One of the really critical parts here is workforce development. Workforce development is paying students to actually get these experiences. That's why they exist.
All right.
And so our students are able, through those programs, to get $15 an hour in the summers that they can actually save and use.
That's pretty good money for a young person, right?
For some of our students who are refugees,
Yes.
that is more money than they may have seen in
How about that?
a long time.
Yeah.
Most definitely a long time.
So someone's hearing about this for the first time, and they said, well, I have a young student who needs to be a part of this program. Can they just apply to the program, or are they selected?
Yeah, so every student at Stillton in the upcoming, 8th grade
Sure.
is eligible for the neighboring academy.
Okay.
So if you go to Stillton High Spire, you're in the 8th grade, you're eligible.
Okay.
There's an application process, and then we interview students. Last year, it was at least a 2-to-1. It's a competitive process.
All right.
But the selection is not only on grades or on attendance or on behavior. It's on what I'd say coachability.
Okay.
I used to be a coach.
Okay.
And for people that are into sports,
Right.
when you start a season, you have to go through the difficult process of creating your team and cutting students, right? Who gets on the team and who doesn't. And in that process, you might have a student who's more skilled initially,
Yes.
but they're not coachable. Versus a student who's very coachable but doesn't have that kind of skill level yet. Well, if you know that you could coach that student and they're demonstrating
Right.
that desire, that's what we're after.
Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff.
That makes sense.
There's a lot of potential in all of our schools, of course. A lot of, but what seems to get in the way are the little factors like violence or like protecting oneself. I noticed that the young people that I worked with, anyhow, that were in the programs, they were good students. I mean, in terms of their behavior. I don't know how they were in terms of the academics, but and I also noticed that you had guides within it wasn't just me in there. So you had staff, that was
Yep.
there, and they seemed to really respect the staff and everything.
Yep.
So part of the selection process then is that they have to show not only just the academic, but the commitment, the behavior, and all that kind of stuff. Really important to their entry into the program.
Yeah, and parents. Like parent involvement
Okay.
is critical too.
Okay, good.
We're a team, and so we have to work together as a team for success.
Yeah.
And that kind of, if parents are engaged and are beside students, which they are, the student is the most important thing in this whole process, but we need people who are invested in that process.
Well, I have to admit, Chad, I actually had the opportunity to attend. I think it was your holiday event.
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving.
And the kids and their parents and everyone came out. That was just so wonderful to see that energy.
Yeah.
And to see those families with their children. They were so proud and so
Yeah.
grateful to be there and to be able to, first of all, have a very nice meal, but also being the children, being the knowledge. I think that was just awesome, all that, the way it was
Yeah.
put together.
Yeah. It's an example of when you're a neighbor, it's a
Yeah.
little different than being, family, but you feel like you belong,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You don't pick your neighbors.
Right.
In some ways, you don't pick your family, so maybe those things are connected. But
Right.
at the end of the day, it's a unique relationship, and we can't be afraid of our neighbors. We have to bring people together, and that Thanksgiving meal.
Yes.
Hospitality, it's creating the space to bring families and students together that may never have met before.
That's right.
And when you start to build those relationships, you start to build something bigger than just simply a program. You're starting to build society.
Absolutely.
You're starting to build a neighborhood, which is the whole point to some extent of why public schools were founded. Public schools are not just in terms of the outputs to go to college or to get a job.
Right.
They're to create responsible citizens
Yes.
who can live and work in a diverse society. We've seemed to lose that,
Yes.
No question. So when you mentioned going up to 11th grade, so what about the senior though? They're getting ready to, go out into the world, go to college, go to work, workforce,
Yeah.
whatever. You don't include the senior in terms of the.
So they will be next year. So
Okay.
our current juniors are going to become seniors.
Will they still be part of the program?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. And that senior year is a real pivotal year because now they have to make some decisions.
Right.
Like, am I going to go into a 4-year, college and career kind of, situation? Am I going to take a year off? Am I going to go right into the workforce? Could I pursue like a 2-year degree or maybe a 1-year degree? Like in healthcare, I'll just give you a real practical example. If you pursue a 4-year degree as an RN, you could probably get a job coming out of it with your RN degree of around $65,000.
Okay.
That's significant.
It is.
If you pursue a 2-year certification as, say, a respiratory therapist, you could probably get 55, 45, somewhere in that range. That's pretty significant.
It is.
If you do a 1-year nursing assistant position, maybe 35. And if you just go right in out of high school, maybe 25 as an entry-level job. Our students need to understand how that accrues wealth over time.
Definitely.
But we have to lay that out for them.
Yeah.
And have the pathways so that folks can actually take advantage of those opportunities.
Absolutely, yeah.
I just want to ask this. I want to get a little more about history. How did all this get started? I mean, because
Yeah.
we all know it's here, But were you the person that brought this to Stillton, you and Helen Spence?
So I'll tell you, neighboring is ancient.
It's ancient, okay.
The idea of loving your neighbors goes way back.
Amen.
This is not a new thing.
All right.
What really is kind of new is that we had some conversations. There was a convening at Messiah University around housing and neighboring. And at the same time, for several years leading up to that convening, Systems of Care and Helen Spence through Dauphin County had been leading conversations around the housing crisis and how to support youth and families. So these conversations were happening simultaneously. And what really happened is after that conference and after that convening, a group of neighbors got together. And we started thinking about what would it look like to actually put this into education at the K to 12 level. What would that look like? And so we benchmarked against some other programs. Build Up Academy, which is out in Inslee, Alabama.
Oh, wow.
Habitat for Humanity. You know, there are a number of youth programs related to housing.
All right.
But our program, we didn't want to start a new school. We wanted to work in partnership with public schools
Okay.
and existing schools. So that's the genesis 3 years ago. It was a group of neighbors.
Yeah.
You coming together and like, we need to do something because of the housing crisis and the dysfunction in schools.
So we have Harrisburg, Susquehanna, Central Dauphin East, goes on down the line. Are those schools going to ever be maybe targeted to maybe do the same kind of initiatives in those districts?
Yeah, I mean, we are very open. A part of what's happening here has been for 3 years, we have been developing the model, right? Developing the curriculum, building the partnerships. We're at a place now where we're going into our final year, our 4th year with all 4 students, all 4 years cohorts. Yes, the hope is for the neighboring academy to be able to expand to other districts. In saying that, for any folks that might be watching or listening, in other districts, we know there are conditions for success. We've learned a couple things. So we're not just interested in going into districts. We're interested in partnering with districts.
Yeah, excellent. Good. And that's so critical because that's what's happening in Stillton. I can
That's
see it.
right.
As soon as you walk in, you realize this program is well run,
Yeah.
and there's no nonsense. People really, engaged. So that means that the school has bought into this.
That's exactly right. There's a huge credit to Dr. Istrick and the superintendent and the whole administration there.
Good stuff. Well, hats off to you, and hats off to again the Systems of Care, Helen Spence, and all the good people that do that work. And we hope this is a model that spreads,
Yeah, thank you.
Because all the districts need it. Let's be honest about it. And you're touching lives, and I see the young people come over to the hospital every day, like I said.
Yeah.
They're always well behaved. And got the little vest on. And all that kind of good stuff. So it's good stuff, man. Yeah. So
thank you.
Listen, this is Chad Frey, long time associated with Messiah University and doing our great work. And now he's doing the neighboring academy. And so whatever you do, spread the word. Let's continue to support this program, and let's encourage those young people that are involved in the academy that to keep on growing because we need them as much as they need us.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you so much for watching this program. See you next time here on Life Esteem. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.